joining us in Chicago tonight, Latino Voices. I'm Joanna Hernandez. Here's what we're looking at. Protesters plan to converge on Chicago's Trump Tower during Monday's presidential inauguration. They share their plans for the demonstration. Up next, details behind some planned protests happening in Chicago on Inauguration Day. That's right after this.
Chicago Tonight, Latino Voices, is made possible in part by the support of these donors.
As President-elect Donald Trump takes the oath of office on Monday, local activists say they plan to protest outside Trump Tower in downtown Chicago. The group, called the People's March for Justice, is part of a national coalition fighting against the goals of the incoming administration. And they say forming this alliance is just the start to accomplishing that. Joining us is Eric Ramos, a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation in Chicago, one of the groups joining the protest. Thank you, Eric, for joining us. Now, I want to start off. Why was it important for you to gather people together to rally on Inauguration Day?
You know, we really wanted to make a strong showing. And number one, this is a national mobilization that's happening in over 75 cities across this country. And just locally, we have over 60 organizations coming together. And it's really important for us to make a strong showing, not just of the importance of Chicago and then saying that it's going to be, their ground zero for their deportation campaign, but to really make a strong showing to say and show that the billionaire class and their anti-working class agenda, and that these deportations rip up just a few years ago, and to continue these funding and arming and genocide in Palestine anywhere in the world. We want to make sure that they actually know that they don't have a democratic mandate to carry out.
So you're talking about thousands of people potentially showing up.
Yeah, we imagine there's going to be thousands of people there. Absolutely, and not just here, but across the country.
You talked a little bit about it, but why bring all these different types of groups together?
It's so important. Solidarity is our greatest power, really. We don't have the money as our working class, and we're up against these huge moneyed interests. So the only way that we can compete with that and stand up to such an agenda like theirs, we have to come and bring all these different struggles together, help us see the struggles within each other so that we can kind of manifest the kind of power that's needed in order to stop, their 2025 and their billionaire agenda.
Talking about struggles and challenges, you talked about Palestine, you talked about Chicago being one of the main places that Trump says that he is going to come here first for his ICE raids. What other issues you plan to address at the rally?
Yeah, not just immigration and the anti-war situation. There's going to be a lot of campaigns focusing on poverty, on housing, and education. There's going to be a lot of teachers joining us as well. This administration is placing a tax out on nearly all of our communities. I'm Puerto Rican, and I know that they have nothing in store for us but further displacement and exploitation. So we got to come together.
And for you as a young man, why are you so passionate? Why is it so important for you to speak out and gather people?
For me, it's been important for me for a long time in my life. I think I learned early on that what happened to our communities, what happened to my island, was something that was being done to us. And that the only way that we can make a difference, and the only way that we've ever made a difference to establish and to continue to defend our most basic democratic rights, is to actually stand up and fight and work together.
Would you say sometimes that's the hardest part to speak out? I mean, you're very active on social media as well about your views.
Yeah. No, I think that part comes easy, to be honest. It's like a yearning that I have to absolutely fulfill, and I think that I organize with a lot of folks who feel exactly the same way, and we keep each other going. we keep each other strong, keep each other disciplined.
Keep each other pushing.
Yeah.
Now, President Biden gave a warning of an oligarchy taking shape in the country in his farewell address last night. Do you share the same concern? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I found it really interesting that he said that because, this country was set up for an oligarchy, and it was set up by rich merchants and bankers. And so, yeah, there's an oligarchy. There's been an oligarchy. It's a little interesting for him to say that, but, I do agree. There is an oligarchy that is kind of controlling in power of the government, and that's exactly what we're out here to oppose and to demonstrate that there's an independent working class politic out there that is really the one that we need to be
For
supporting.
those who don't know what an oligarchy is, how do you explain it to people?
Yeah, an oligarchy is essentially when a particular class, specifically a moneyed class, is in control of a government, which I think that if you ask most Americans on the street, they will admit quite plainly, so.
Now, many of the groups involved are feeling, dissatisfied with both Democrats and Republicans. Why would you say that's so?
Yeah, well, every single administration, and we can go by the different struggles, continue to advance these issues that are completely opposed to the working class. I mean, we have rising costs of living, rising rents, and every single issue that there is. Whether there's war, they're going to be expanding more. And, every next president has actually expanded deportations and has carried out campaigns in our homelands in Latin America that caused people to come here in the first place. So whether it's Democrats or Republicans, they actually are quite bipartisan on many issues, despite what they kind of try to make us see. So it's very important, once again, that we establish an independent working class politic that is ours, representative of our interests, what the people want in housing, education, and healthcare, and not theirs.
What's that message that you want to convey to people?
Me personally, I think that it's good to get out there, that we need you, everyone, in this fight if we're going to achieve the world that we want. And again, it's not one particular person or one group that's going to be able to do it. It's going to take all of us. So everything that we have in this country, everything we've ever gained, everything that we enjoy has been achieved by the organizing of working class people just like us. And so we need you to get out there.
And talking about your work, what work is being done outside of protesting to engage people with the movement?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, there's 60 plus organizations and they all kind of have their own way of their reaching their bases. But us in particular, we are always doing liberation forums where we're educating people. We've been in particular talking about issues like immigration. We have an MLK and Martin Luther King Jr. forum tomorrow, actually, just to continue to educate people on what their agenda is and where we need to be. But also we've been having organizing meetings and we're inviting people, whether they're in an organization or not, to come and realize themselves as actors in history and start reaching out to their own communities. And we're doing a lot of outreach that way. We do art builds, film screenings.
I hear a lot of passion here. Can you tell me the details for Monday?
Yeah, for Monday? Yeah, so it's going to be at Water Tower Park at the corner of Michigan and Chicago Avenue, 11 a.m. And we're going to start there with a rally. We're going to have hand warmers, and it's going to be cold. People need to dress as warm as they can. We'll do what we can with hand warmers. And then we're going to march to Trump Tower.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Harry. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Up next, 2 local colleges are offering free tuition for some students. We explain right after this.